You should be able to charge people for sneezing in public places like that. Cover it up. Act of terrorism. Prison. Straight up.
Terrorism. What
There's at
a
least
statement that just came out of your mouth.
Yeah.
Sussy, wussy, and booger hooker.
The feds could go, but that would unnecessarily expose them to risk. So you're gonna do it.
That was wild. Both hands up. Bang, bang.
And do what any good police officer would do, and that's bottle it up and wait for another time to go and experience feelings.
Not like father, like son. You didn't plant a gun on that guy. He already had one.
I want Officer Worst to punch this dude in the face and the Chenford kiss for immunization. What is going on, internet? And welcome to Only Cops. We are back with season 1, episode 20, because most of y'all asked for this. I don't know how much law enforcement relevant stuff we're going to be able to pull from this, but whatever there is, we're going to try to glean whatever we can from it. You guys asked for it.
The rookie is great.
You guys asked for it, so we are going to provide it. Welcome to our reaction to, as I said, season 1, episode 20. Of
the most realistic cop show ever.
Ever.
What's a 314?
Indecent exposure.
Nice. A 273G.
Being intoxicated in the presence of a child.
Well done. Reminds me of a funny story, which is for later. How about a 237?
False imprisonment.
Nicely done. And a personal favorite of mine, a 597H.
Unlawfully attaching a propeller to an animal so that dogs may chase it.
Well done. That's 500 penal codes down,
Okay.
1,000 to go. Curly fries?
Definitely.
I'll be real quick.
Money.
Oh, perfect.
Oh, nice. Good
Perfect
pause.
pause.
Pause it real quick.
YouTube will love that.
So, and I think this is a California thing. I don't know that any other states do this. I know obviously this is LAPD. This is based off LAPD. So they will remember the actual code and they refer to things as codes as opposed to just saying robbery in progress.
Instead of saying like the
whatever it
offense
is, like,
name. Got
right.
it.
They will just say, I have a code, a 10 code for an offense.
A 314.
So on and so forth. Yeah, or whatever it is. And so I think this is an LAPD thing. Correct me if you guys are from another California agency. In Texas, there's a lot of plain language departments. And even if you did utilize 10 codes, typically we would refer to the offense if we got dispatched to something. Though you do have to memorize like elements of the offense and maybe certain penal code definitions for the state test to get commissioned.
I wonder though, what do you think it gets like sent to their MDC as? Just the penal code? Or do you think it has the
I think it's got to
the
be the
name.
actual name of the. I don't know. It's weird. It's a weird thing. Every time I see it, I find it kind of odd, just because we came from a very different
very much plain language?
Department. But if it's being utilized on patrol by both dispatch and other officers, it would be like mission critical for you to know it. So I'm assuming this is their internal testing. They're already certified police officers on patrol, they're in field training, but I'm assuming this is just for a test within the department to graduate their FTO program.
It's probably part of
we
their
didn't have
FTO
one of
program,
these,
don't you
but-
think? They probably get like while they're sitting in the
Probably,
car, their
yeah.
FTO is like, what's this one? And what's this one?
Yeah. Generally in Texas, most of the certification stuff happens before you get into a patrol car. There's going to be some continuing education that happens on the back end, but generally speaking, there wouldn't be any other test. We did have, because we had a PTO program, which is like a different mindset to field training. And in those, I actually have one of my CTRs.
Do you really?
Saved. I have one. Join the Discord. You guys can see cool stuff like this. But I actually saved the Word document of what it's like an incident report. So it's like what she would write in the report and then like the lessons I learned. And it would be evaluated from not just my field training officer, but the head of training. So there's like a sergeant above all of the field training program.
And stupid binder we had to carry around.
God, that thing was, it's a beating. So it's close. It was just very different the way we approached it, but it is relatively similar to what we experienced.
Money now. 211, armed robbery. a petty theft.
You're a cop?
Yes, I am, and so are they. Hands in the air, drop your guns.
Turn around.
Turn around.
You guys, this looks to me like a criminal conspiracy.
You need a 182. Also a 12020.
Oh,
you
legal
a cop?
possession of a firearm.
Does it
Actually,
matter?
the 417, the guns are fake.
Ah, he's right.
Yep, but this knife's real, and that's a violation of
21510B.
Turn around.
Can't even have a knife in California. Yikes.
God forbid you have a cutting implement.
Yikes.
There are, and there's a lot. Culture is it's a spectrum everywhere, right? And all people that live in
Are on the
California
spectrum.
aren't a certain way, and all people that live in yes, in most places in Texas, they're on the spectrum some way, some form.
yeah.
But generally speaking, California as a legislator and as a law enforcement like entity, as far as the municipal level, the county level, the state level, being in possession of anything that could be used as a weapon, typically a big no-no there. Things that you would glance over, like having a machete or a loud exhaust or anything like that, not going to be an offense in Texas. It's probably the most glaring thing to me anytime I see any of these shows that take place either in New York or in LAPD, which is a lot of them. They're very big, very prestigious departments in their own right as far as history is concerned. But as someone that did it, and we were in a pretty, I'd say like a relatively liberal area for Texas because it's a relatively big city. Even our general orders weren't nearly as strict. Don't get me wrong. If you're getting interacted with law enforcement, they're going to typically disarm you to some degree. But they just rob somebody, they're going to get search incident to
We
arrest
had
or
a
whatever.
guy
But
on Southside. He used to walk from his house to like the Quick Trip, but he always carried a sword. And he got interacted with so many times that every time we would, mark out with him, and it was always consensual contact. Well, it wasn't always, but for the most part, it was consensual contact. He would stick his sword in the ground and walk away from it because he knew, like, listen, these cops aren't gonna just like be cool with me having my sword on my belt loop.
Yeah. And it's a cultural thing because this starts at the lawmakers, goes down to the DA's office, goes down to the chiefs, goes down to the supervisors, and then the P1 individual officers. That culture is taught to you. So it's not that like Bill and I, although Bill is cool, but it's not that we're particularly cool. It's just the area that we operated in, the culture around weapons in general was very, very different than it's going to be here. Or there's a lot of places in Europe too, where he's got a box cutter. Like, you know what I mean? In Walmart's here, they give you box cutters as like an employee. It's a
First
very
day at
different
Costco,
culture.
you get like 3. Here you go.
Yeah, those are pretty nice too. Those are so it's weird from us seeing this from where we're from, both where we live and then where we were cops. But it's weird to get excited
It's
about.
definitely
like as far as a bus, like it's a prohibited. Like,
I
you
will
can
tell
be-
you,
unless you're using it for something
out here in the void, they take weapons a little differently than I'm used to.
I could see that. I could see that. The void is sussy with weapons. We'll keep going.
Come house hunting with me this weekend.
Yeah, sounds fun. I'd love to. Oh, Henry's flying in. You two can finally meet. Is that too soon? I'm sorry. I have no idea the single dad rules yet.
No kidding.
No, it's fine. I'd like to meet him.
Great.
Yeah, good. Okay, I gotta go. You are gonna do great on your test.
Thank you.
Okay.
So glad we skipped that.
Can a relationship get in the way of studying in law enforcement? Yes, but you're not doing it right. If you're not getting some sort of distracted.
I don't know, dude. How much do you really need to study that stuff?
You're around it. So I think especially because they're in field training. Like
That's
in
just
academy, I
it's
could
just
see
another
it.
thing I don't like though. Like, why do you need to be able to name the penal code for putting a propeller on a dog? Like
on a dog,
do you know like the
I don't
main
get it.
ones that you're going to interact with, and do you know traffic code so you can make legal and legitimate traffic stops? And then do you know how to get into a car for searching purposes?
given
I don't know.
given, so we do body cam breakdowns every Thursday at 7:30.
Yeah, and it's getting horrible.
Um, given my experience having done that now for almost 2 years, they need to spend more time asking these guys to memorize at least the first, the second, the fourth, and the Fifth Amendment. If they could just do those, you'd be crushing it as a
if you
police
knew
officer.
it back and forth, like
that's kind of what I mean. And like understood, like when I don't know, like just understanding, you know, how penal code's going to apply, what reasonable
and then
suspicion
also, you know,
is, what probable
like,
cause
you know what
is.
makes more sense to study is case law. Like,
I was going to say,
why
the
are
exact
you
same
worried
thing,
about penal codes for random things when you should be studying the important amendments? They're all important, but some are more important to police officers. And then case law that gives you the ability to do things. Like, that's more important than 17B5 propeller on a dog's ass.
Yeah.
Like,
well, and also because like the in application, you memorizing what it's called doesn't change whether or not that's the offense that's present. Because we get all the time, we'll get calls where it's, hey, this is a robbery in progress, and you're like, this is just someone being very loud about breaking up with their boyfriend. Like you can't just take call text for what it is. Like you have to on-view it or have a reliable source or being able to get someone to fill out an affidavit that says you're actually seeing something. And even if you have said affidavit and have said firsthand on-viewing of something, am I at the right address?
And
does this person act, you know, am I asking questions just because you fit the description doesn't make you automatically my person of interest. Like I have to be able to actually apply. We should be better at knowing, understanding, and applying the law than lawyers are because they get time to read about it beforehand.
Yes,
you don't before you make life-altering decisions.
You can recite the penal code, but do you actually know what the offense is and how to enforce it, and then what penalties come along with it? Like, if you're just out there reciting penal code and you're like, oh, this is this penal code, and you're slapping a felony on someone that doesn't meet the level of that offense, like what good are you?
If the only charge that sticks is resisting, then I'm looking at you. I'm looking deep at you right now. You're not doing it right.
What am I arrested for? Disorderly conduct.
Breach of peace.
Glad you called. I was worried you were ignoring me.
No, ma'am, I was just weighing my options.
Bro, bring back Bishop.
Literally.
You promise I'll be cleared by the chief if I spy on my fellow officers.
Don't look at it as spying. You're helping me monitor cops who cross the line.
Like the line you're crossing with me, violating the peace officer's Bill of Rights.
What are you doing?
I thought hard about your offer, but I decided to go a different way. By calling your boss.
Ooh.
Sir, I can explain.
You can try, but I recommend you do it after consulting your union lawyer. I've spoken to the chief. Your case has been closed, Officer Bishop. A formal letter of reprimand will be placed in your file. My apologies for Officer Ruiz's rogue actions. Let's go.
Wrecked.
Letter of reprimand.
Kind of.
But they really shafted this lady. Kind of. She's an idiot, but also like she was also a good example of a lot of good policing. Does this type of politicking, I guess politics, happen within a police department? Yes. I don't know that you're going to go that far out. It's not like you're dealing with a confidential informant or you're dealing with like, this is weird. I never personally dealt with something like this. I'm not saying it doesn't happen. I think especially if you look at bigger police departments, Minneapolis, I'm looking at you. Baltimore, I'm looking at you. You know, LAPD, I'm probably looking at you. I'm sure this happens more often than not. I do think that oftentimes it feels stupid. You're literally paying both sides of the fence to try to get each other in trouble, which is dumb. That's a taxpayer. You should have enough. You already don't get Fifth Amendment rights as a police officer when it comes to your conduct within the department. Like there's the administrative side of it that you have no rights at all. the second you accept the badge, you accept that they can kind of pry into every part of your life.
And they
period,
do.
and hold you accountable. And they do. And they'll hold you accountable for it because they're trusting you with a lot of power on the back end. But you'd be surprised at how much transparency they make you have there. And I don't know. I get why they're showcasing this, because there is a lot of drama that probably does happen behind. The more you promote, the more you get involved with other aspects of your department, especially if it's a big department, there will be issues. But this is kind of extreme. This would be very rare. I'm not saying it doesn't happen, but it's incredibly rare. But I'm glad she still got paperwork for it. They're like, no, like, you're still getting written up, but we're going to deal with this other thing on the other side. We're not going to let somebody leverage this over you for blackmail just to get you to spy on other cops.
Which is
like,
so
that's
great. Like,
shitty.
I don't know.
Yeah. And it's not like you have body cams, you have sworn affidavits, and you also have the ability to search anything and everything I touch one there. Everything inside of this building's recorded. Everything inside the patrol car's recorded.
And it's such a big department. There's always
that's kind of what I mean.
2, 3, 4 officers around. Like, because if misconduct was going on, you're either all in on it,
you'd find out,
or it gets found out. Like,
and like planting someone in a shift like that would be super easy.
100%.
Where they got 30 people on a single shift for a single sector. Like, oh, so and so is just taking some time off from behind the desk. You know, like, it wouldn't be hard. That's dumb. They already have undercover day or switch day or whatever it is. It's all dumb. This is such a big waste of taxpayer dollars.
They let the people with traffic tickets get out of their ticket if they try and catch misconduct.
80 might be the passing grade, Boo, but if you don't get at least a 90, you should turn in your badge on general principle.
Officer Chen, I will take it as a personal insult if you get anything less than a 93.
Yes, sir. Have you figured out what you're going to do with all your new free time? Might I suggest a book club?
What are you talking about?
You know, after I pass, there won't be any more daily evaluations to write.
Whether I evaluate you daily or weekly, I will continue to judge you every minute. Understood?
Yes, sir.
Yikes.
All right.
I don't have anything nice to say about that. I mean,
I get the like character he's trying to play as the FTO. I'm not talking about his character on the show. I'm saying like I will always be judging you because you're a rookie.
Yeah.
But like, also, why are we adding a layer of stress to an already stressful job? Like, if they've been doing good and proving themselves, why are we exacerbating that for no reason?
There was something, and I didn't appreciate it until we got to get about a year or two out of field training, when you really start to understand how much better you're going to be at the job, which is simply experience. Like, there's just some things that, like, no amount of training in the world or help or assistance or guidance can fix, right? Will senior officers judge you? 100%.
Yeah, of course.
They're judging you to see if you're being lazy. They're judging you to see if you're handling up or whatever it is. But it's not something they're going to come up and confront you about. They're just going to be more or less helpful to you as a rookie officer rather than not be. And I think
we experience that like daily. Like,
oh yeah. I think the same thing with like reputation is more along the lines of what he's covering here.
But it's also like, there's some instances where I feel like the senior officers would address stuff, you know, like maybe if a senior officer addresses it, that officer, whether they're a rookie or like a 4 or 5 year officer, would be like, oh, maybe I am not doing great.
Yeah, I'm the problem, right? Yeah.
But I don't know. Doesn't really happen.
I think like on a personal note, like I didn't realize how long-winded, or at least for the culture of my shift, how long-winded I was on the radio. It was an easy thing I can learn as a rookie officer, right? And my fear was that I wasn't giving enough information, right? And of course, that was not the case ever. Never not the case. But I had a midnight shift that specifically hated me for that. I got talked to. There's, God bless him for whoever, I'm not going to name him, but came out and was like, look, dog, there's an off switch on your radio. That's all he told me. It was an off switch. And you could turn it off just as quickly as you turn it on. That's all he told me. He's really polite about it. And I learned. And literally within like a month, that same officer was like, I think you're going to be okay. He didn't tell me good job. He didn't tell me what I was doing well.
Was he
and
a
I guarantee
PTO?
you, he was indeed a PTO.
How many years had he been there?
Oh, like at least 8 or 9 by the time we were there. He was there for a minute.
You'll have to tell me who it is after this.
It was a good time. It was a good time, but like there's small stuff like that where it's not that you're doing anything illegal. It's just that they're going to evaluate you on a kind of subjective
You're not
level.
even necessarily doing anything wrong. It's just like,
no,
hey, let's be a little more aware and efficient, right?
Yeah. And I think that's kind of what I meant by with like reputation. I didn't let calls. They didn't hate me because at least I was like working the calls on my beat. Nobody was ever having to work after me or whatever. I wasn't taking too long on calls. And then when they had to back me on something, I was never kicking that call off on them like I was working it. I wasn't asking for a bunch of stuff. And I would later, it became a pet peeve of mine. And you'll see it if you guys do the officers react. Like, get off the radio. I get mad about it. So I adopted that culture. Either you're going to fit in or you won't. But like not this.
The guy trying to call his pursuit and he can't get through because it's just beep, beep, beep.
Yeah. It's more important that I tell everybody that I'm trying to get involved in this pursuit than the officer in the pursuit giving us valuable radio traffic.
6 miles away on 17th Ave. I'll be, joining the pursuit maybe. I'll be on my way. Thank you so much for that information.
Because they're not evaluating you. Kind of what Tim's doing here, where he's like, "I'm gonna be checking in." And like, who are you gonna tell?
Himself.
They don't. They're not.
He's
they don't
gonna have a little notebook.
That's what I'm saying.
He's
yeah.
Write it down. And go home.
This is the dumbest thing Tim's done. Dumb.
At least he's wearing a vest.
Anyways, we'll keep going.
We'll work the first 6 hours of their shift on patrol, then come back to take the written test. Hey, try not to tire them out this morning. Just take the easy calls, okay?
I don't do easy.
But you do follow direct orders.
Oh.
And we're ready, Officer Bradford.
Yes, sir.
Good. Easy.
Also, how weird that they're doing a test mid-shift.
Yeah, that's weird. That's very weird. I would have totally seen Sergeant Gray walk up and grab his sleeve and look at it. oh, that's right. That's right. There's a few less stripes here than mine. Thank you.
That would have been
you forgot.
awesome.
Do I need a picture book it for you? Here, look at my sleeve and look at your sleeve. Look at your badge. Look at where you're sitting and look at where I'm standing. Just a subtle reminder that I'm watching and evaluating you every single day.
Damn.
Which is actually his job.
That's true.
It is. Shout out to Gray. Checking it. Let's go. Big Sarge.
You're driving today, Officer West.
I am? Why?
Because we both know you're going to pass the exam.
I mean, I feel pretty good, but...
The rules and regulations of the LAPD are part of your DNA.
You're right. Test in the bag.
Which means I have today to decide whether to request you be assigned to a new training officer.
What? Why?
Because I feel like I failed you. You're a mess right out of the gate. And I thought I got you past it. But then you lost it again last week. So either you're falling down or I am.
What happened last week was my fault. I let my family drama get in the way, and I think it won't happen again.
It's not good enough. You shouldn't still be struggling with the most basic question. Why am I here? Why do you want to be a cop, Officer West?
Because I've always wanted to be one.
Being groomed for this
not a good answer.
isn't the same as choosing it. You gotta want this job for the right reason. For you, not your father.
So why did you choose it?
I have 4 older brothers. Guess it gave me a pathological need to stand up for the little guy. Which is why I was also willing to dig deep with you, but maybe I've given you too much leash. Maybe you need a different instructor to get your head on straight.
I don't want a different instructor.
Or don't be a cop.
Just tell me what I have to do.
You never got a real plainclothes day. So, this morning, you're gonna run things. And then we'll see what happens.
I don't think Wes should be a cop.
I had a lot of beef with Lopez prior to this. Thank you writers for throwing us a bone. Not that they hurt us because it's after the fact. But I do like that she took some accountability for the fact that she's like, I was probably, and again, she wanted to become a detective and all this other stuff. She stopped evaluating him as a police officer and sort of just making sure that it wasn't getting in the way of her career. If you're, I'm gonna put this in context. If your answer to, like, I'm like, yo, Bill, I want to marry you, dog. And he's like, why do you want to marry me? And I'm like, well, I've always wanted to be married. But you know what I mean? Like, I just always wanted to be married. You're like, well, that's not a great answer. You know, like you fill a need in my life kind of thing. Like that. It really is gorgeous. But like, they asked this a lot in interviews. You'll have a lot of interviews that happen before you even get into the academy, before they even decide whether they want to spend money on you or not. But like, I don't want to say needing to be one, but there was like, at least for me, like there was a very personal need to help people. I wanted to do that. I was pre-med prior to going into law enforcement like an idiot, and I should have stuck the track on that.
Probably should have.
Oh, easily. Yeah. Oh, yeah. It would have been a way smarter choice, or been a firefighter. But most of the like desire to do the job came out of this need of realizing that what society was going to deem as the least deserving people, I was going to get an opportunity to help. And like, to me, that was important because like, I remember having friends growing up that didn't have good parents. Like I had great parents growing up. A lot of my friends had good parents growing up, and it would crush me to see the kids that were coming to school hungry or were coming to school with like messed up clothes. And they were the guys that you always end up getting in fights with. They're in football practice because they're getting beat by their dad at home kind of people. And like, I had a heart for people like that. And I was friends with a lot of them growing up. And I realized that nobody, not doctors, not social workers, nobody was really going to be able to be for them, like be with them in a critical time of need. The joke I always give is like emergency medicine, emergency, like the ER room. The first person that touches that person 9 times out of 10 is a cop.
True.
And you don't get to all of the other things in an emergency situations unless a police officer shows up. And that was a big reason why, like, I was drawn to the job, but it's like it was a personal need to want to fill that role of like, I was blessed with a great upbringing. I was blessed to not be 5'1" and 90 pounds, right? like I'm a privileged adult.
You still would have made it into our academy class if you were.
But I felt the weight of that. They call it privilege because it's really what it was. And I wanted to give back to society because I couldn't imagine being powerless and not being able to give back. And
what kind of privilege was it?
It was male.
Did it have a name? Did it have like maybe something in front of it?
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, I hated Officer West's answer. I hated that answer with a fiery passion. Lopez has recovered a bit in my mind because at least she took some accountability for that. Saying that she has failed him, I do believe she has. Because ultimately, like, you have to suffer a consequence for not making the grade is the best way I could describe it. Like, you're gonna fall. Yeah,
but also like that's huge on her end because personally, I'm sure if I sat down and thought about it, maybe I could come up with more, but I could only think of like 5 PTOs that we knew that would have had that level of self-awareness and like taken that kind of ownership in their training.
I agree.
The other ones would just be like,
hey man,
yeah, here's your paper.
I'm here to fill out paperwork. And there was a lot of people that take it that way. There's teachers that take it
or I'm here for that extra percentage.
Yep, I get a pay bump for having you in the car. There was a handful. It wasn't all of them. And if you happen to watch this, you know exactly who I'm talking about. But there was a couple that were very, very good, and I believe took a very like personal investment in the development of good police officers. and they
Yeah.
believed that there was a standard
Yeah.
to keep, and they made sure that we met it, and I was grateful for that.
That is one thing I appreciated about Southside was there was great PTOs on Southside.
There was good PTOs on Northside.
Yeah, I could tell.
It was-
I heard the stories. My roommate worked on Northside,
there
so
was some good.
I heard all about it.
There was some great ones, but there was a lot of good and okay ones.
Yeah. Well, there's a couple great ones, I think. I don't know.
It was,
I don't know about
not all of
some.
them.
Yeah.
Drop the snow globe.
That's a $900 crystal
Whoa.
ball. Can he just put it down instead?
You heard her. Gently.
Up against the wall. Turn around.
Ma'am, you okay?
Yeah, just giving that psycho a reading, and he hulked out.
Don't say another word. We've got psychic client confidentiality.
That's not a thing, asshat.
So what exactly were you telling him when he attacked you?
We were talking about his love life. I said I saw an image of him and a beautiful woman surrounded by trees, and then he freaked out.
Why is that, sir? Strike a little close to home? Have you been in the woods with a woman recently?
No, it's just a misunderstanding.
Also, what's illegal?
Control, run a name for me. Last name
About a
Fisher,
woman
first
in a
name
woods.
Randy L. Suspected on a domestic.
7 Adam 19, be advised, suspect's wife was reported missing 6 weeks ago.
Hands behind your back.
Holy crap.
Oh.
I was just making that up.
You were.
You think if I were really psychic that I'd be working out of a moldy storefront in Hollywood? Although I can totally see us destroying my bedroom later.
Jeez.
I remember this scene.
I
Also,
do
this
too now.
pause is top tier. Her face.
Oh man.
Nothing is illegal about just simply being in the woods with someone. I also don't like
Unless you're burying their
Right, that's
body.
illegal. Because you gotta call 711. Right? Like you gotta call, make sure that you can dig there.
True. Yeah, you don't want to hit a wire or fiber optic line or gas. Water. God forbid
No
you hit
kidding.
a water line.
I didn't like that she decided to like question him while they were just like hanging out there.
Well, I mean, you already have
Yeah.
your assault, right?
There's probably
threat of assault
ag
at
assault
least.
or terroristic threat or
Yeah. I
you
mean,
take your pick.
she's gonna say she was in fear for her life.
At least ask those questions and I get it. It's Hollywood. They're trying to make the scene a bit more interesting, but just from a procedural standpoint,
This pause.
she's so salty. I know why she's salty though.
Yeah.
I took a long sip from my Chenford cup. Go check out the merch or my Chenford shirt. You guys can go get this kind of stuff if you go check out our YouTube page. We have a bunch of stuff under the merch tab.
I would have some merch, but I live in the void and we don't get mail here.
There's no PO box in the void. But go check it out. Producer Juan put a lot of cool stuff together. Go check that stuff out. Let me get your contact info for the report.
Yeah, for the report, of course. Or hey, here's the
I'll
my
assault
card.
you with a weapon. That's what Bradford's thinking.
They just put an out of order sign up. Ooh.
Definitely a homicide.
Glove up.
Hey, gloves.
Find an ID. Don't touch anything else.
See, she's a good FTO.
It's also making him do everything. That posture
Yep.
right there, she's like hands on belt, you know? That is, hey.
Yeah.
She's giving him as little instruction as possible to make sure he's working this correctly while still
Yep.
preserving the scene. I don't like that we didn't at least check for pulse. I'm not saying that they didn't do it. Typically, medical would have already been on the scene here, but it is what it is. This is a Texas
Last
driver's
balance,
license.
First of Corey.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
That's how I was looking at it. And I was like, wait a minute. This looks really familiar.
DOB 41497 and
Interesting.
notify supervisor.
Before they got all
homicide unit.
colorful.
Copy that.
At least we know what we're doing until the test.
Yeah. Waiting.
Pretty accurate.
Dude, You find a dead body. That's what we used to call a shift killer.
Especially like a pretty either suspected homicide or a pretty obvious homicide.
That was a bad time. Or do those welfare checks. They got like, oh.
Well, it was a bad time for us, but there was some people who
they loved it. Oh yeah.
Jumped on every opportunity.
Got a medical transport. Show me en route. Code.
Oh man.
You 22, everybody else, we got this. You know exactly who you are. You're a bad cop. And I won't apologize for it. Anyways, we'll keep going.
Sit on the bench.
I thought I told you to take it easy.
We did. Officer West spotted these two trying to steal an ATM from the Save Mart in Cahuenga.
Writing up as a 211?
No, sir. Technically, it's considered a bank burglary, not a robbery.
Very good.
Sir, can I ask you something?
Okay.
No.
Why'd you become a cop?
Oh
my God. This is not the time or place.
No, dude. This is an off-duty question. This is not a... You're in the middle of the jail, and don't look at him. This pause is also like pissing me off. Oh yeah, I'm proud of you. Opening up to Big Sarge.
No, but let's be real. This isn't a while you're in field training question for your sergeant. Like,
So it had Nolan asked Big Sarge while they're sitting on this dead body, and they know they're going to be here for 5 hours. Maybe I could have seen that the exact same day. But like in the middle of needing to book someone into jail, Sarge is probably dealing with other nonsense. Like that's not. It's also
Nolan's a better cop,
but also like at this point in your career, you're not asking anybody. You hope people forget you exist. Like you just want people to not look at you, not judge you. You're just trying to put your little head under the sand and do your job and learn the things. Yeah.
Can you imagine him at the end of shift being like, talking to the other supervisors and being like, you know what? Training Officer West asked me today why I became a cop.
What they would collectively chuckle about it. You know what I?
Yeah.
You know what I told him?
Hope so.
I told him because my dad was an IA and I knew it'd be easy. That's exactly what I told him. If he says anything less than that, I'll be disappointed. Come on, Big Sarge.
I like the teamwork.
Yeah.
I missed it after the Army.
All right.
Here you go. I left one uniform for another. That actually makes a lot of sense. That's actually a perfectly reasonable assessment here. He also does kind of come off like an Army guy. He's got that vibe to him.
You have to earn his respect, which I can appreciate.
Excuse me.
She's about to try to earn some respect here.
Hey.
Hey, how's it going?
Better now. So, listen, I can probably duck out of it early. Jackson's got an exam this afternoon. Any way you can clear your schedule for some less time?
Actually, I think I can.
Really?
Yeah. Call me when you're off.
So he has to take a test and she just gets to leave him there?
Not accurate.
Is that
not how
that's how this is going to work? So she can go get laid?
Unless LAPD requires you to be 2-man to be on patrol, and maybe that's the case. And I guess they just wouldn't make it here in a place where you have to answer calls by yourself all the time. But typically, no. Just because your field training or your officer that you're training is doing something else, they're going to put you right back out on patrol. Maybe if it's going to be like a short thing, like it's going to be only like an hour, they'll do it for the hour and then you'll go finish your shift and they'll wait for you. But because you're sharing a car at that point and all that nonsense. But no. But shout out,
Very
whatever,
weird.
Lopez. I guess you earned a little bit of you time.
Us time. Us.
Hey, you stepped in a bit of a wasp nest.
Did either of you touch the body?
He did, with gloves on to get the wallet.
Is that all that you touched?
Yikes.
Yes? Why? You're freaking me out.
Wait, that is an active crime scene.
Well, that's secondary right now.
Hi, I'm Dr. Morgan from the CDC. Are you sure you didn't come into contact with the victim's mouth, saliva, or any bodily fluids?
Yeah, I'm sure.
No sign of infection.
Infection?
Your murder victim is part of a homegrown terrorist cell that the DHS has been tracking, and we believe that they're planning a deadly biological attack on the city of Los Angeles.
Cool.
I have no experience as a terrorist. This seems like the dumbest plot ever. Like, right? Look, I don't know.
I mean, LA is definitely the place to do something.
Right, but
like
your
that
delivery
'cause of the
mechanisms
volume
gonna
of
be,
people.
I'm just gonna die in a bathroom.
Yeah.
Oh,
also,
unless it's like a victim and
you're
you're like
riding
planted
a
something on him or whatever. That's weird.
maybe, but you rode a bus to get there.
Yeah.
Like,
I don't know. It's
I
weird.
don't know.
Um,
must not be a very well-funded group.
The only thing I can think of that's similar to this is we would arrest people, and sometimes those people would have some sort of communicable disease, and they would
Or bed bugs.
or bed bugs. And anytime they tested positive for stuff, it was a bad time for you. Have fun with all the syringes and the pokes, and it's a good time. Exposure reports were a blast.
It's also why we always bring up gloves, because I put gloves on probably way more than I needed to, but
You know what Bill
well.
didn't have? A colonoscopy at the age of 27.
True.
I can't say the same.
Sure didn't.
You wear gloves, boys and girls.
I'm only a few years away from my first
What
one.
was like a
though,
decade
so.
ahead on mine. It was funny in the doctor's office. They're like, "Why are you here?" And I was like, "Gloves." And they looked at my chart. They're like, "Oh, you're a police
Yeah.
officer. Bless your heart."
You're like, I want to pay you to stick something up my butt because my department usually does it for free.
Normally, yeah. Normally they pay me, but I'm going to pay you.
Yeah. I'm going to pay you so you use lube for once.
Maybe some anesthetics so I don't have to remember it.
Ooh.
Juan's like cutting that.
Definitely keep it.
There is no evidence that the biological agent they were transporting has been released.
But we do have every reason to believe that there is an attack planned in the near future. What type of virus are we talking about?
A weaponized strain of hemorrhagic fever basically causes you to start bleeding and never stop. And that's how the virus spreads, through contact with bodily fluids. It has an extremely short incubation period and a gruesome pathology. If not treated quickly, it has a 90% mortality rate.
And if it's treated quickly?
We believe that drops down to around 60%, but the bad news is...
That's not the bad news?
No. The bad news is there's only an experimental vaccine. We're flying it here from Atlanta, but there's only a few hundred doses. Nowhere near enough to combat an outbreak.
So obviously, the rookie exam will be postponed. The feds are asking us to be their boots on the ground while they set up a command center here.
The feds could go and find these people, but that would unnecessarily expose them to risks. So you're gonna do it.
I wasn't sure where you were going with this, but
is that not the case?
Now you're 100%
To my brothers
right.
and sisters that were wearing the uniform in 2020, I salute you. Oh, take that back. Hold on. Honorably wearing the uniform in 2020, I salute you. Everybody else, here you go. You ready? Zoom in for that.
Yeah.
That's for y'all. That's for the rest of y'all. Anyways, we'll keep going.
Quick question. When was because we had the Ebola outbreak here?
I was in 2012, I think, in Dallas.
So that was
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, that was wild though.
That's hemorrhagic fever, so that's why I was like.
Yeah, that one bleeds you from the inside.
Yeah.
I know. I got a taste of that. Getting bled from the inside. It's a bad time.
Listen, your personal life, keep that to yourself. You know? It's about your professional experience.
This might go back to the conversation we had a few minutes ago about not using lube.
That's true.
Might
Can't
cause
confirm.
a little internal damage.
My
in
law
there, you know what I'm
enforcement
saying?
experience caused me to need a colonoscopy at 27.
Glove up and lube up.
Where's all this blood coming from?
Well, that's weird. It's just coming out of this one place. I don't know why.
Hemorrhagic fever.
More like hemorrhoidic fever.
Okay, we're bringing it together now. We're professionals. Oh my god.
ID Corey's partner / killer. So you'll conduct field interviews with the other passengers on the bus.
Do we think Corey's killer is operating alone, though? No. We think there's one more. A local who picked him up at the bus station.
So, okay, this is extremely sensitive. We can't risk the news getting out and causing the panic. That being said, you can warn your immediate families to stay away from populated areas, but no details. Understood? All right, let's go get these guys.
And maybe LAPD is weird because LAPD is kind of weird. Once you left briefing, you pretty much never went back to the station for like a powwow.
Especially a whole shift briefing like this.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm not saying it doesn't happen. I'm just saying.
Yeah, but who's working calls?
I was gonna say where we worked, it was always too busy, and I can't imagine it's not the case here. Someone at LAPD, please clarify if this is how this goes down. But,
like, it would be one thing if you were getting pulled into a specialized unit to go do something with them. You would go to a briefing, but your whole shift didn't get.
The only time, most
That's
of the
weird.
time when we had to do like attack plan, it happened in the field. So they would just set up a command post and they would go, or they'd just call you or whatever.
Yeah, that's
they
true.
would dispatch would get on the radio and say, you, and you switch to a different channel. You know, everybody clicks over and you're like, hey, be en route to this location. You're like, oh.
We also never dealt with any terroristic threats like this.
Maybe
so
this is how
who
it
knows?
goes down. But
Mom, it's only for you and Dad, okay? You can't tell anybody else.
I really can't say anything else.
Nolan's like, I don't have to warn anyone. My girlfriend's here.
Can you give us a minute, please? Yeah, thank you.
That's why you hesitated when I talked about Henry visiting.
Oh, wow.
You knew LA wasn't safe.
Are you taking it personal?
I was briefed about a possible threat last week.
And you didn't warn me. You just have Henry show up for the apocalypse.
No.
It's called discretion, dog. It's part of her job.
The DHS and the FBI hear dozens of potential terror threats every month, and most of them are just talk, or we can shut them down.
That's not the same as knowing it's safe. This is my son we're talking about. Even if there was the slightest chance there was danger, you should have said something.
You ready?
Come on, Nolan. Don't be like this.
my boy's got emotional plot
It's a bit
armor. Like what?
That's a bit
Bro,
dramatic for me, dude. You're telling me there's not those types of threats
dude.
every single day?
Every day.
Every day. Yeah. Yeah. Now, if she knew like this dude's name and the bus that he was on and what time it was arriving, like, all right, I kind of understand. But again, she's not gonna tell him just because they're sleeping together.
For all you know,
like,
especially not going to tell him because there's a compromised personal relationship, right? And what if it's classified? You're on a need-to-know basis, dog. Like,
I would almost guarantee that something like that would be very discreet.
what I
Like,
mean.
hey, this doesn't go out to anyone until it needs to.
Honey, you should go to your parents. Look, you know I can't tell you what's going on. But it's bad.
Even Big Sarge is worried.
You gonna call Wesley?
I want to. But I don't know if I can.
Oh
trust him
no,
to
her
quiet.
booty call.
Yeah, this is the kind of civil liberties issue he gets on his soapbox about.
Yeah, but how would you feel if something happens and you didn't warn him?
the blind leading the blind here, dog. What is going on?
Hey, it's me.
Now we're taking relationship advice from West.
You know, from the great relationship he has with his dad and his boyfriend nurse that he can't even navigate a simple conversation with.
At least she called someone on her phone, so it looked realistic.
You know what? You're right. You're right.
I'm afraid I can't get together this afternoon. Something came up. Yeah, I'm disappointed too. I'll call you later.
Oh.
Nice.
I couldn't risk it.
Nope.
Maybe you shouldn't be dating this person.
But also,
then.
like, if you're not going to tell the public, it's my biggest beef with that is if you're not going to at least give the public, hey, maybe you don't have to give them the details or whatever. Just say, hey, please cancel any, like, say they got a parade going on. What am I going to tell the parade? No.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or am I just going to be like, just parade along. I'm not worried about it. Just be like, hey, maybe you shouldn't do that because we maybe have an issue.
Yeah.
Details will be emerging as it's what you tell a newscaster. Hey, we're going to get more details as the night goes on, but for now, just stay home. You know, PD's sorting it out.
I don't think there's really anything wrong with that.
That's what I'm getting at.
Like,
if the public doesn't get to know, why are you getting to selectively protect like your family? Right.
Right.
That's my only beef with like the situation as a whole. I get that she's saying, well, she's taking that stance and saying, well, if everybody else doesn't get to do it, I don't get to do it. And if I'm being burdened with having to keep this down tight so we don't cause like a mass panic, I don't also get the benefit of doing whatever. Also, like Gray's wife was like, okay. I'll just leave. I don't need an explanation as to why. That's kind of what I mean. Shout out to them.
See you later.
Healthy, functioning relation. Hopefully, I'm sure that's I'm going to come back and regret saying that. Big Sarge is going to let me down, but
maybe.
We'll see.
Cut. That's lunch. Everyone back in 30 minutes, please.
See, look at all these people.
30 minutes for lunch.
That's not right.
That's a quick one.
Keeping everyone in the dark? We're supposed to be protecting them.
That's what we're trying to do.
Yeah, but
nothing, Officer Nolan. This is where the job's hardest. If we alert the public, we alert the men we're hunting. Odds are they'll panic and set it all off. And then we'll cause exactly what we're trying to prevent.
And what if they set it off anyway before we catch them?
Then it'll haunt us.
Wait, what's this guy's name? Really? Brad Dallas? Oh, hey. That's me. Can we have a word with you over here? Sure. Be right back.
Were you on the bus last night coming from Phoenix?
Yeah. I was visiting my mom. What?
See this man on the bus?
Oh, that's cool.
Is that a yes?
Yeah, he looks familiar.
He was traveling with someone. You happen to remember him?
No, I wasn't paying attention. I was taking a bunch of selfies, for the gram. But I couldn't post
for
them
the gram.
My pores were huge.
Can we see them, please? The pictures, not your pores.
My pores are huge.
Yep, that's our dead guy.
Yeah. Which means the man next to him's our target, but he's too dark to see.
Wow.
Photoshop?
The FBI.
We're gonna take your phone, but we'll get it back to you just as soon as we can. Stay dry.
You can't get these emailed to yourself.
I don't think that's how that works.
Yeah. No incident report number. No, nothing, bro.
They're not even technically on a call. They're just doing this at the direction of the FBI.
Yeah, dude.
Kind of weird.
Like you're depriving a private citizen of their property.
Yeah. That's theft.
Oh my god. No, that's him, but it's too dark. We're just gonna enhance the photo. That's how that works. Whatever, dog. Plot armor for logic.
Come on, big pores, let's go.
And apparently circumventing people's constitutional rights.
Yeah.
Whatever.
What are those?
Those are for losers. But this is probably par for the course for California.
And here I thought that test was going to be the most stressful thing about my day.
Best case scenario, that's tomorrow's problem.
And worst case? Never mind, don't answer that.
Worst case, you're bleeding out of your eyes.
Took you long enough. Bags in here. Sir, we're here about the bus you took from Phoenix.
No kidding, I called you about the bag.
And what bag is that?
I thought it was mine on the bus. I picked it up by accident. Noticed as soon as I got home, called right away. Still took you guys like 6 hours to get here.
Accurate.
Sir, we're not here about a bag.
So you don't have mine?
No.
Why would you call the police for a
My computer's
bag?
in there. I went through this one looking for an address, and all I found was some weird science equipment.
Control, this is 7 Adam 19. Patch me into task force, please.
Sir, did you touch anything in there?
Yeah, I cut my finger going through it looking for an address.
Uh-oh.
On a broken valve. Won't stop bleeding.
Everything okay in there?
Yeah. Just stay out there.
Come on, dog. You heard the first cough. You could have backed up.
Tim.
I want to die with you.
All right.
Bro, Chen.
They're in the same house. Yeah. What is closing the door going to do?
I like
You're
you,
already
Chen.
in the house.
Like I'm rooting for you, right?
Yeah.
And spoiler alert, there's clearly future seasons with you. With both of you. But like, maybe this isn't for you. You can't in that moment like objectively think like, well, the idea here is to quarantine this, right? Like this hyper deadly, super bleed out of your eyeballs kind of disease. Like, you know, it'd be a great example. Making another potential hosts, like let's say,
not just one, two.
This guy went to the supermarket, infected like 99 other people, and you became person 100, right? And then there's like maybe 101, and now we're taking the 89 vaccines that we got left, and we're like, I guess draw straws, dog. Chen decided to get infected too, so we're just drawing straws for this. Like, you know, hope you get to take that test tomorrow. Like, bro, come on. Like, shout out to Bradford for like, well, no, one, you're an idiot for not like you know what you got. The guy starts to get like a little, bro, slams the door, explains it to him through the door, kind of thing. And the door is really not going to save you, but
he didn't even back up. Yeah. Like,
also, like you get a sneeze, and you don't cover that up, bro. Like even for the common flu, like you're wrong for that. You should be able to charge people for sneezing in public places like that. Cover it up. Act of terrorism. Prison. Straight up.
Terrorism.
Hey man, we're trampling on rights for lesser things. Let's go for that.
It's
true.
Terroristic breaths.
I've been there.
Producer Juan for senator. He needs to be making our laws, baby. Let's go.
Or at least governor. I mean, shit.
Oh my goodness. We're gonna be taking over like one of the Dakotas or something.
As high as I can go, anyway. So.
That's true. Yes.
At least Juan can stand up for himself.
Exactly. Man. Anyways. Producer Juan for governor.
Yeah.
What's happening? It's okay. It's a bad case of the flu going around. We were warned about it this morning at roll call.
It's not okay.
Nothing to panic about. Then why'd you lock the door? Standard protocol. Look, was there anyone else in the house with you earlier today?
No, my kids with my ex.
You got any cold medicine?
I think so.
Go take it.
I don't cough enough blood.
I'm just telling you how they advise us to treat this if we came across it. Right now, my partner's radioing for an ambulance. Gonna be here any minute.
Go.
Everything all right out there, Chen?
Yeah, the CDC is on their way. Hey, you need to come out of there.
It's not gonna happen. Gotta keep this contained.
Tim?
It's gonna be all right, Boot. You keep your head in the game.
Boot.
Okay? Everything's gonna be fine.
All right. There wasn't that much blood on his neck.
If Chenford ever produced a child and that child was smart, it'd be because of Tim. I love Lucy, but goodness gracious. And don't get me wrong, you were allowed to have emotions. She's not being unreasonable for a regular person, but you're not signing up to be a regular person. You know, hey, Chen, why do you want to be a police officer? Because I want to be emotionally reckless and make decisions for public safety strictly based off of how I feel in the moment and who's at risk. Like,
I think she just needed a job. That's why
I normally like Chen. I'm normally team Chen. She is low on my list for like the usual suspects that I get annoyed at. This was a big L. Not the biggest of L's. She's still in this fictional world on at least like my B team for police officers.
Yeah.
But Tim's currently solid in the A tier. He got a little chippy there during briefing, but he's doing pretty good. He did the selfless thing. Shout out to him.
Those pictures. Okay, FBI table. John, wait.
Don't apologize. Don't you dare.
I'm sorry.
Skip. I
would have never let you.
Skip. No, Skip. That's not the time, dog. We're over here dealing with like potential like Tom Clancy level catastrophic issue.
A deadly outbreak.
Nolan, come here real quick.
I know we can talk about this later at home, but I need to tell you right now because, you know, we sent you guys out there into the field, so you might die. So I have to tell you in case you die.
Go back to enhancing photos or whatever the hell you're going to pretend to be doing. Be apologizing to Nolan for not... Man, get out of here. Anyway, sorry.
Come on, let's move it on out.
Pause it real quick. Also, shout out to my brothers and sisters who are honorably serving and had nothing but a pair of gloves during 2020 when EMS showed up like this.
True.
It's a good time.
Yeah.
You remember that?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I remember the full-on like pressurized jumpsuit and a ballistic vest.
Do you remember that I got days off because I went into a hospital room without like the full kit thing on?
I vividly remember that.
Not days off because I was in trouble. I got days off for exposure.
Yep.
Like
I got never once. I guess my immune system should be studied by science because in the hundreds of exposures I had and the multiple times that I became symptomatic and did the nose poke.
Yeah.
There's a fire lieutenant somewhere that I swear was just taking those nose pokes and throwing them right in the trash.
Yep.
I swear. Because they'd never... Somehow magically, everybody else, I don't know. You were in city. The exposure enough. Why don't you go ahead and work from home?
Yeah.
Bro. To my brothers and sisters.
Yeah.
You don't need eye protection? Okay. I was like, the cover of everything else?
Tell me what happened. Yeah, the bus passenger mistakenly grabbed the wrong bag and the virus must have been in it because he coughed up blood on Tim.
What? Whoa. What are they doing?
We need to get them out of there.
Look down at your uniform. Just look down at it. What does it say? You're a police officer, dude. Like, stay in your lane, man. This is like, hey, you gotta like attach that hose a little different and like, I don't know, close the window. Like, you're not gonna yell at, bro. Like,
you might.
You're not gonna shove an ER doctor and be like, no, dog, you need 200 milligrams of epinephrine. You know, like, what are you doing, dog? Like, stay in the lane. Like, Bro, Chen is losing points with me today. At least the CDC ladies.
Is this why everyone wanted us to watch this episode?
I guess just to piss us off. Yeah. Hey, you know what's also the most unrealistic part of any of this is CDC personnel showing up to something.
True.
I was out here. Tim immediately closed the door. Smart man.
You go, CDC lady.
Officer
Smart
Bradford,
man.
this is Dr. Morgan from the CDC.
Hey, Doc.
How you doing?
Fine. Mr. Langston's struggling a little.
Can you describe his condition?
Yeah. He
Send a video.
started coughing blood about 20 minutes ago. Now he's got a pretty wicked nosebleed.
Why aren't they coming in? Where's my ambulance?
He'll be here any minute. Just stay put. Save your energy.
Where's the vaccine?
Still in the air. Should land in the next hour or so.
You can't make Tim wait in there. He might not be infected.
Sorry. Quarantine rules exist for a reason.
Exactly. Chen.
Oh,
Officer
my
Bradford, do you mind
goodness.
if I put you to work while you wait?
You want to know what's in the bag?
Yes, I do.
Copy that. Chen, I'm going to turn on my body cam. You can monitor it from out there.
Okay. Please be careful.
What?
Thanks, Chen. Man, she's pissing me off right now. I'm being petty now. I mean, she's giving her a general warning of please be careful, but like, At least they took my advice. Like, use the body cam, use your cell phone, FaceTime it or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, you can help.
Pretty weird that she can remote view his body camera though.
From her phone. That is kind of weird. Maybe Axon was a little different. Motorola wouldn't let us do
maybe.
that unless you had a certain permission. And
Yeah.
you could probably get the permission. Just go grab your MDC or I don't know. Send one of
But you
these
had to do it
federal
from
drones to go do
from
it.
from either an
Like
MDC or a
yeah.
desktop, I think.
Yeah, it's whatever. It's Hollywood. This is not the most unrealistic thing.
True.
We're watching of this.
All right. Here we go.
That's a good use of the baton.
Yeah.
Wait, what is that bottle?
Let me spray it
Looks
and
like
take
the
a
delivery
sniff.
device. It's a misting fan.
I think you're right. Looks like there's a growth medium inside the bottle. Add the virus to it, then spread it in a crowd. Droplets
Dude.
land on people's faces, infect them
Those
through their
things
mouth and
come in
nose.
clutch at
It's
the
as low tech as you
beach.
can get.
Yeah.
It's Dr. Morgan. I know how they're planning to disperse the virus.
So anyone with that little spray fan, you just shoot them.
I mean,
right? That's what they're gonna say, right?
It's California dealing with weapons. That's about their protocols.
Yeah. And the
This is-
FBI's involved, dude.
Yeah, dude.
You're screwed.
I'm reeling because the beginning of this episode's them shaking down some dudes robbing a taco stand, and
true.
We're now full on. Keith or
True.
Sutherland's about to jump in. The 24 beeps
Oh,
about to
no.
start. You know, dun, 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 like it or whatever, man. Come on, Big Sarge, bring it together. Bring us back to reality.
Hey, he survived 24 hours and became the designated survivor, okay?
That is true. That is true.
Must I have any ID or target information?
Tim, look out!
Okay.
Tim,
I'm gonna bleed. You're gonna bleed.
Tim!
Nope.
The second most unrealistic thing we've seen so far is the taser deployment working correctly.
Yeah, but the spread wasn't wide enough. That spread
Agreed.
was so close.
Hey, the guy's feeling a little weak because of the blood loss.
I guess. All right. I guess.
Got him
Whatever.
feeling
That's
some
fine.
kind of way.
All right. You're right. You're right. The 4-inch spread on that taser would have definitely taken him to the ground. You're right. You are absolutely right.
If I had to over under it on the level of success you would get with literally like a 4-inch spread on this, maybe 4%. That
Also-
would work and get you the achievable, him stopping.
Are we not assuming deadly force would be justified here?
Oh, 1,000% deadly
I
force is
mean-
justified. He's trying to break contain. Now, it depends on how much they've told him. I think if they haven't disclosed to him that
He just
like,
knocked
is-
out Tim with a chair.
Oh, you know what? You're right. Yeah, whatever. Smoke the guy.
Like,
He's
Tim
still
just
holding
woke
thing.
up in a pile of blood from his head after
Yeah.
getting hit by a chair.
Get after it, big fella. I said go for it.
Okay, quick question about that then. Given that his backstop is Chen and the CDC.
It was the window. He's trying to get out of the window.
Okay.
Send it. And even then, let's say that's your backstop. Is this guy a bigger threat of spreading it to thousands of people than it is you possibly missing and hitting somebody? I think you take that all day long. I think that's as normally sketchy as that use of force would be in this
Yeah.
specific set of circumstances. And this is where law enforcement gets weird because maybe you could be taco stand reading one day and later on in that shift you end up doing this. That's totally a
Yeah.
possibility, but
True. I don't know. I just think. I mean, I understand the taser because
I
you know
get it.
clearly he doesn't want to shoot him and then have blood splatter get on him.
I know that's
So
what it is. Containment.
yeah, that's my assumption.
Ion with a scratch on the driver's side door.
Be advised, suspects are armed, extremely dangerous, and pose an imminent danger to the public if they escape.
Well, if you do see him or the car, please call 911.
No one knows each other in this neighborhood. Back in Pennsylvania, I knew all my neighbors. Names, families, even helped deliver a few kids.
I'm sorry, what?
Robertson twins, winter storm of 2014. Hospital roads were all blocked, so I had to become a temporary midwife. Good thing I brought my toolbox.
Forget I asked.
Right.
Let's go talk to some real locals.
Some real locals. Nice.
It's and this is an LA thing, right? There was Stop 6 in Fort Worth was pretty close to this. Trying to think. We had a couple homeless encampments, but when you have to refer,
They weren't going to talk to the cops, though.
I was about to say, typically are not terribly helpful. Also, typically not local.
Yeah. Usually transient.
Most of the homeless population gets passed off from town to town to town to town, where they just keep getting bus tickets to the next place until they reach somewhere. I think it all terminates in LA,
California.
County, so,
For the weather.
That's
the weather.
That's where the bus rides in.
Manifest what destiny. Expansion.
Yeah, Juan's here with the straight history facts. But
I always died on the Oregon Trail, so I never made it to California.
I tanked dysentery. I made it.
Well, that was a bus.
Yeah, most people are at work.
Hey, what's going on? Awful lot of cops around.
I'm not really at liberty to say.
Seriously? This is my neighborhood. If something's going on, I deserve to know.
Okay, but you have to keep it quiet. You can't tell anyone else.
Sure.
We're trying to stop a terror attack. We believe one of the terrorists lives around here. So you should evacuate, maybe even get out of the city, okay?
No, not okay. So far from okay. Why haven't you issued a warning or an evacuation? People have the right to know.
We can't, okay? Because
Fair.
we'll cause a panic and alert the terrorists that we're onto them.
That's not your call to make.
This is why I didn't tell you in the first place, because I knew you were going to get on your high horse.
High horse. This is about basic civil liberties, guys.
Give me your phone.
What?
I'm placing you under arrest.
Wait, what for?
Violation of public order. Come on.
This isn't gonna hold up in court.
It doesn't have to. You're incommunicado until this is resolved. Come on.
Yikes.
It's not unprecedented. But it gives me the ick. Gives me very much this is no state. Well, let's say no. Most states were guilty of this at some time in the last 5 to 10 years.
True.
I am grateful that my command staff never asked me to do stuff like this.
Oh, yeah. My career would have ended a lot sooner.
Yeah. Bill and I would have been but wee lads. And this YouTube channel would be older if that was the case.
We'd have less policing experience and more YouTube experience.
But that being said, this does happen, and I do think this is oftentimes an overstep of law enforcement. If you're going to start superseding people's constitutional liberties, just declare martial law. At that point. Because I really think that's the only time
fair.
That you can legally justify it. And then everybody knows. Like the cat's out of the bag. Everyone gets to know. They're likely going to be much more
That gives you more ability to search, too. Because, like, you tell everyone to go inside. Like, there's no movement.
Because she's also not taking enforcement action for him blabbing about it. It's the risk of him blabbing about it.
Yeah. But the way he parked, I mean, she could have arrested him for that.
Yeah, I guess you're right. Interference?
Yeah, sure. Resisting? I don't know.
Stop. The rap sheet's gonna read resisting and talking back to me.
Yeah,
with his
talking back
with his pretty mouth.
In his green Prius.
Unlawful use of a weapon in his pants.
Stop. Wanted to take it there. Come on, let's go.
Want this?
No.
Do you
Look, he's parked in front of a fire hydrant.
Nice. There's your offense. Dumb. See how the home.
Quick question. Would they have had to turn on the body cams for that arrest?
Yes. Oh, yeah.
The second she starts to interact with him past, like, now for us, it was any citizen interaction.
Yeah, it didn't matter.
The second we started talking to anybody, technically Geo's was that body cam came on.
Yeah.
So specifically for an arrest, that'd be days off. If you took enforcement action and there was no body cam recording,
you or your rookie,
like, yeah. There's also likely no dash cam, no nothing. And Joy should. You know what? This is a get rich quick scheme. She's wanting to leave policing anyways. She's like, I'm just gonna violate his constitutional liberties. He's gonna win on a violation of his civil liberties, like lawsuit against the LAPD, which they probably lose on the weekly.
And then they'll go get married.
Yeah. There you go.
With this car?
Yeah, the car, yeah. I see it almost every morning on Fig. That's where I panhandle.
That's where I
driver
panhandle.
is a real piece of crap. Cursed me out saying I ruined his country. Like I wasn't born to see the sign on, you know.
Officer Bishop.
Thank you.
This gentleman has seen the car. I don't suppose you know where the guy lives.
Over off Wayland? Yeah, I keyed his car once while I was out collecting cans on trash day. It's a yellow apartment building. Can't miss it.
What a hero. I keyed his car once.
His witness statement was the best piece of policing we've seen all day. I mean, right though? They were able to give like a verbal location.
It was great. It was great. And like he was just being completely honest. So
bro, verbally admitting to criminal mischief to a police officer.
Wes would have arrested him on the spot.
That's what I'm saying.
100%.
Yeah.
He'd be sitting next to that lawyer boyfriend.
Dude.
Forget about the terrorist attack. You're going to jail.
You're going to jail for criminal mischief.
Yeah.
It's about the law.
Sure we shouldn't wait for a hazmat team?
There's no time. They might already be on the way to their target.
If you believe that you're cornering the mastermind of a terrorist plot that potentially has a biological weapon, free advice from somebody that's had to deal with this a handful of times, those gloves ain't saving you from nothing. 2.
True.
And I know it's Nolan there, so let's raise our expectations because it's Nolan. You think you're calling SWAT?
100%.
Or at least back up. Like at least other units, you know, like
or maybe the FBI,
anybody else
who is actually running this task force. Like you're not going to let them know that you're going to make contact at the suspect's location. Like
and maybe they don't have the manpower, but like at least Big Sarge's got to be there. Somebody's got to be there. Like you're not doing this by yourself.
Yeah.
Unless it's like right across the street. And in that case, you're just locking that house down and waiting for somebody else.
Right. You're going to wait for...
What's the hurry?
Backup, Sergeant, SWAT, CDC, FBI, like...
Or Officer Nolan. Let's go. Let's go.
I am impressed that the deadbolt is actually locked.
Mm-hmm.
So they must have really kicked in that door. I'm sure it was ready to be kicked, but...
Now, the only issue I have is you'll see the bottom piece of the door jamb is busted.
Yeah. So there was nothing on the top for the deadbolt. Yeah. But at least...
Shout out to it being locked, yeah.
At least it's locked.
Yeah.
It's the little things that I appreciate.
Hey, man.
Sure we shouldn't wait for a hazmat team?
Oh, you know what?
There's no time. They might already be.
Yeah,
They
I see
did
it.
kick the whole. They did kick
Yeah.
the whole frame thing off. Shout out to them.
Yeah.
I will say shout out to them for not having their finger on the trigger when going to the door. Though
True.
you are going to present deadly force, you are not going to on any kind of pistol because most of them are kind of sussy wussy if you fall down. Try to have your booger hook in that guy because that you fall or get bumped or whatever, you can have a negligent discharge. You also technically don't have a deadly threat yet. You have the potential for it. So
What
there's at
a
least good.
statement that just came out of your mouth.
Yeah.
Sussy, wussy, and booger hooker.
Yeah, I'm just saying it's a thing.
All right. Hey.
My only complaint's gonna be there's a little bit of issues as far as how they're holding the gun. Even when you're doing a building search, are you gonna have odd grip? Yes, because you're likely going into Sewell, and you're more right now worried about retention than you are about shooting. The problem is at the point of that door getting swung, you're prepared to shoot. Actually, shout out if you guys want to join our Patreon group. For as little as $1 a month, you can get access to it either through there or if you're becoming a member here. I've shot a body cam of this very thing of me having to do it in the wild, and it's important. No announcing.
Clear.
Stop, pause. Hold on. You got the rest of this apartment, and he's like checking the mail. So on a secondary search, maybe.
Unless it's like a small studio, like a 1-bedroom studio.
Oh, you know what? I take that back. This is California. This is probably a mansion by their standards. I'm making fun of New York right now, but I'm sure California's the same. But it is just a studio, and he realizes this is all short. As in, like, there's not really, this isn't a terribly deep, like, room.
Like maybe that's the living area, and there's like a 1-bed, 1-bath, small. I don't know. I'm trying to give Nolan the benefit of the doubt, but like, also,
I'm gonna say he's such a good cop. He knows exactly the layout of this, given his contractor background.
Yeah, they checked the blueprints, right?
Yeah.
Pulled it up on their MDC. Yeah.
All right, we'll go.
Help!
Oh, come on, Bradford. Handle up.
Dude, I'm probably going in the bathroom if I'm being honest.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Bishop? We know where they're headed.
Bryce, he didn't give him oh, this is 7/18/51. You know what I mean? Like, manufacturing a government
federal ID badge.
Try to get ready for that.
Also, you like how fast he found the mail, and then it took him a while to find the fake TSA badge. Like,
yeah.
Come on.
LAX is probably already notified if the feds are involved because these are big, major population centers. It is good that they're able to confirm that that's potentially the target so they can start, because the airport itself is not going to have the personnel to deal with a problem like that, because they're going to have to individually quarantine every single one of those areas and then do a systematic search to find the guy. That's a task.
That's tough.
You would be wanting units, and then those units are likely going and getting attached to staff that are like more familiar with the area or have like access to doors and all that stuff. Because if you've ever been to a big airport, we have DFW here. DFW International. There's, I don't know, probably 5,000 doors. Yeah, it was a good luck with all of that. Not to mention little areas they could be hiding, and then even if they left the building, there's acres, if not miles worth of land to go search too.
Yeah.
So that'd be complicated, to say the least.
DFW International Airport is bigger than Manhattan.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Yeah, get wrecked. Everything
That's
is indeed
crazy.
bigger in Texas.
27 square miles.
Damn.
That's wild.
Feds are pulling resources from all over the Southland. All major roads headed to LAX are being monitored, so while the airport is shut down, we will provide support at assigned checkpoints on Century and Sepulveda Boulevards.
7 Adam 7 copy en route to Sepulveda checkpoint.
You're seriously gonna keep me in this car all night?
You're the one that wanted to spend more quality time together.
Sir, this operation is moving at 1,000,000 miles an hour. These checkpoints were determined by someone who has
Definitely not tried to make a last-minute flight at LAX.
We're not running point on this. We all have orders to follow, including me.
Yes, sir, but there is a hole in the perimeter that
only an LA native or a
rookie patrol officer who's painstakingly studied every street in this city would know.
On a tech channel, you'd probably get away with this much radio traffic. Like if it was like a back channel that you switch over to.
Yeah.
I'm assuming they have moved to that since they're being deployed to assist with
like
this
perimeter
thing.
positions. Yeah.
Patrol, you are definitely at the mercy of whoever's running the operation, and it really sucks because sometimes that person is dispatch and they don't know what the hell they're doing.
They're looking at a map and they're like,
dude, oh my God.
7 Adam 7, please go to this intersection. You're like,
bro,
I'm a mile
like,
away from
and you're like a rookie, so like you're not brave enough to be like the senior officer on staff to be like, you know what, I'll run this, that's fine. Or like Big Sarge shows up and he's like, I have control.
Sir, even with the airport shut down,
there'll be thousands of people waiting there.
these two guys get through.
All right, let's do it. Control, this is 7L20. Show us diverting to La Cienega and reroute an airship over there. Eyes out for our blue sedan.
What? In LA? Oh, okay, thanks.
Yeah, good luck.
Couldn't give a plate or at least like a make and model. Like, gotta narrow it down for a blue sedan. Like, I'm not saying you don't get that Vega like information, and you
I'm
see how
pretty
much time has
sure
passed, but
they said the make and model earlier, though.
I think they did.
So, like, why wouldn't you just repeat it?
Hey, but like on cue, Big Sarge stepping up, being like, no, you know what? There's a better way. I'll take responsibility. Let's do this. Shout out to Big Sarge.
Big Sarge.
Yeah,
Poor Tim.
I just checked with Dr. Morgan. The vaccine's minutes away.
Yeah, you're good at a lot of things. Lying isn't one of them.
You think I'm good at things? Can I get that in writing?
Ooh.
Whoa.
How are you doing? Are there any symptoms yet?
You're bad at this.
How are you doing with the dead guy in
Like
there?
a pig, but it's probably because it's 100 degrees in this room.
It's gonna be okay. I really believe that.
I'm sure you do.
You're also dumb, boot.
But if it isn't,
Don't think like that.
look, if it isn't, I'm not going out the way my man Pete here just did.
What are you saying?
When the time comes, I'm going out on my own terms.
Fair.
I'm in. Hey,
Well-
in case Pete gets up, I'm also ready. You already swung a chair at me.
I guess, but I mean, you can
they would
leave
be
it in the
able-
holster until the nosebleed starts.
Yeah, you got some time. It's a little Hollywooded up. I mean, I guess in a situation like this, I'm sure you got a lot going through your mind, but Tim has already demonstrated his ability to think rationally, even under stress, and do what any good police officer would do, and that's bottle it up and wait for another time to go and experience feelings.
That's fair.
I think this is a bit out of character for him to having an existential crisis here, and he would qualify, though it's a conditional qualification, for an emergency detention here. At least some days off. Give your boy some days off to quarantine and get that nastiness off him.
True.
5, Bravo, uniform 9, Foxtrot 7.
There's our car. Blue sedan.
Control 7 Adam 15. We are in pursuit of suspect.
Good for them.
7 Adam 7 joining pursuit.
You're not pitting this immediately?
Okay, question. Because I just saw Wes in the back seat. It's nighttime now.
He's been in there for a while.
They're trying to get rich. They're going for the most egregious. I mean, outside of like injuring him, like beating him or something like that. Like,
well,
I don't know how much worse like a detention. Well, just calm
California,
down. Calm down.
California cops are kind of known for that, aren't they?
They have one of the most popular beatings in police history. Yes, this is true. Technically, LAPD in particular.
Yikes.
7L20 on your 6.
They're barely going like 40. Hit it. Hit it.
You all right? Mm-hmm.
Hit it.
This is such a slow pursuit.
It's just like 40 tops.
Units be advised, Airship 1 disengaging from pursuit. Suspect vehicle was entered a no-fly zone. Go get him.
A no-fly zone.
Oh, the airport probably. Hit him. Hit him.
It's not really
Sure.
a pit. It's
Sure,
a
why not?
ram. All right.
Deadly force. Go right there. Boom.
Oh, jeez. Oh, sure would be nice if they had rifles and.
So okay. This is not unrealistic. Pit occurred, which means they're either going to run or they're going to fight, right? Pretty realistic. Semantics aside of like the weird CGI that's getting done to make this thing work. You should already have an arrest plan prior to engaging in the pit. Most of these patrol cars are going to have some sort of long gun that they're employing. You already know those guys are faking the badges and stuff to try to get to airports. You already know they're doing all this stuff.
Well, and there was bullets on the table in the apartment, so
that's kind of what I mean. Like
you just
you
assume,
have a clue, that you're probably going to get engaged in some sort of the. You don't know for sure until it happens, but the likelihood is there. When the likelihood is there, you're going to treat, I don't know, go watch our Thursday streams. We talk about this stuff all the time, but it's a little weird that none of them had some sort of preparation. Also, in an area like LAPD, with the FBI on scene and they're probably pulling units, like the SWAT units and all that stuff, like from standby. Anybody that's on standby is now QRFing to this, right? There's probably 80 cops on this if this is happening in LAPD. LA County's going to get involved in this. I don't know. The security guard down the street
Airport
at the bank's probably
police.
getting into it. Air One is they probably grounded all the flights. They said, no, this guy doesn't get away. Like, the likelihood it's just our main cast for the show getting involved in this apprehension is pretty low. But it's not, because it's policing, it's not outside of the realm of possibility. It's just pretty unlikely that this is going to go on for more than a minute or two without like it raining police here. So we'll see.
Yeah.
Hold on, pause it. Wes being involved in this gunfight's the most unrealistic thing about this. I'm just saying. We'll keep going. Also, RIP to our homie in the backseat.
No kidding.
I'm telling you, they're going for the biggest lawsuit.
I didn't even think about him sitting back there in this gunfight.
My lawyer boyfriend's just chilling in the back of the patrol car, trying not to die. Oh my god. R.I.P.
R.I.P.
Gonna name the street across from MLK after him. Oh, there it is. Nolan, let's go.
Nolan took the shot.
Oh, look, we got more units. Pause it. In no universe. In no universe is this lady that shows up. Zero.
What do you mean?
Like, office.
What do you mean? She's clearly the most tactically trained, proficient, ready for this gunfight.
Well,
period.
They knew they were going to be going after a terrorist cell, and she couldn't even like fetch for a chest rig or something, like or a long gun.
She's
like,
wearing a leather jacket. She's safe.
Hey, man. Yeah, whatever. We'll keep going.
You have eyes.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Ready?
Yeah, let's go.
He's back there like, bro, what?
7020. Suspects on foot heading east. We need a 5-block perimeter set up and send hazmat units to lock down this area for contaminants.
Bro, why aren't you shooting?
This way.
They're getting on the radio. Yeah.
Like West had them in eyesight. Like, stop, plant your feet, poke that thing in your hand out, and finish this.
I'm going to say the writers are just throwing Wes a bone, right? Like,
I guess.
do it the right way.
Yeah, I mean,
just let him be the hero. What are we doing?
Yeah, I mean,
like, you know, like, Nolan can't do it on his own.
We're gonna tase him. We're gonna take him into custody.
Oh, they're gonna tase him, dude. We quit this episode.
We're gonna take him into custody alive because that's, you know, the most. That's the most important thing.
Dog, I'm gonna send a strongly worded email to a writer's room if this ends in a taser deployment. Worse, it's gonna be OC. You know,
or another John Wick shot to the leg.
Yeah. He's gonna jam the guy's AK with a round to the breech of the AK.
Yes.
And be like, we know your gun is broken and there's no way you can fix it. Come out with your hands up.
There's no way out.
And Tim's gonna take he's gonna have his immunization administered from a kiss from Chen. I forgive it. I forgive it all if that happens.
Oh, man.
I want Officer Worst to punch this dude in the face and take him into custody with no one else getting harmed, and the Chenford kiss for immunization. We're here for it.
All right.
Nobody move! Everybody down!
Come on, West. You got it.
He's on the bus with the virus.
Angela, it's too dangerous.
You had that the whole time?
Stop. I'm done with this guy. It's too dangerous. Let all the innocent people die. Like, you deserve each other, dog. I'm glad you're stuck in that car. Bro, like, stay in your lane. Bro, they're going to take this guy into custody, and he's going to be like, sir, please, you have the Fifth Amendment. Don't say anything to the cops, dog. Like, bro,
man.
I'm so done with these two. You know what? I take it all back. He's from the district attorney's office.
Yeah.
Or he's just an attorney.
Yeah.
They don't care.
Yeah.
Oh, people are going to die from us not doing our job?
Sounds like a good lawsuit for me.
I'm so glad you guys make us go back to this episode.
Bro, where's Hondo? Come on.
The crossover. Oh, man.
I want it
He'd
so
be repelling.
bad.
He'd be rappelling from a helicopter to land on the top of this thing.
There's the...
Oh, no. He would have foot chased the guy in the car the whole time. He'd have just been running as like the 6th unit in this pursuit on foot.
Was it?
Climbed like Spider-Man and then jumped onto the top
What
of this.
was it? What was the show that had the...
It was SWAT.
It was
They
SWAT.
had the bus.
The bus, right? Yeah. Okay.
That's the episode we just released on our Patreon.
Oh.
Hey, shout out. Join our Patreon. Go check out our Patreon.
Go
page.
see it
It's
over there since YouTube doesn't want us to...
Yeah. Sony doesn't like us.
Everybody down!
This is a gigantic bus.
All I need is a shot.
I'll get you that.
Down! Nobody move!
Oh, this is a good drippy.
What are we doing?
Come on.
Dude, let's talk about this. Hey, don't do that. You don't need to do that.
Let me go! I'm gonna infect everybody on this bus!
If I let you go, you'll affect a hell of a lot more people.
Yeah, none of them are gonna be you!
Damn. Some straight shooting right there. Feeling to my sense of self-preservation. But here's the thing. I made my peace with dying when I got on this bus. So I'm coming over there. I'm arresting you.
Oh my god.
Pause it. He also just got in the way.
Yep.
Of the what's also kind of dumb is she could have totally gone around and just popped this dude from the window.
Yeah, but then West couldn't talk him down and put him in handcuffs.
Bro. Let's do it. Let's get this out of the way. Let's rip the Band-Aid off. Let's watch this taser deployment, baby. Let's go.
Oh, just one? That's all it took?
That's how that works.
Not even one.
No.
Not even one
You
to
have
the
no
night
idea.
switch.
Also that's not how that works.
Come
However,
on.
it's also like an MPX. This
Yeah.
is totally like a 9 mil
Yeah.
coming out of like a 9-inch barrel.
Yeah,
That's
alright.
not how that works.
Alright.
But
Whatever.
all of these people could have already been exposed.
Yeah.
Not off the bus. Everyone just go to the back or go to the front, but just chill because this is now a crime scene and I got to get everybody evaluated. But I in the moment.
Yeah.
I get it.
I'm with you.
Did you shoot me?
Got in the way.
I guess you're screwed. Rules clearly say that if you shoot your rookie, then you can't hand him off to another TO.
7 Adam 7 show code 4 at our location. Suspect down.
Shout out to them for having the courage to get the terrorist.
Yeah.
Shout out to them. I approve. Some weird stuff going on, but whatever. This is by far the best episode for Officer West. And that's it. Everybody else, big fail.
Just because of that?
I'm saying it's his best episode.
But just because of that part right there?
Yeah, just that.
All right.
Everything else, like letting her illegally detain her boyfriend.
Yeah.
Probably a bad idea.
Yeah.
There's another like fail on the side of like, I'm supposed to trust you to make good decisions. But hey, man, he had courage in a moment that he needed to have courage. Shout out to him.
Yeah. I would have said that this was a great episode for West had West taken the shot, but
you know what? You're right. You're right.
I mean,
Cam.
he had
should've.
several chances.
He did.
So
he could have ended this before it exposed a bus full of people.
exactly,
to
he could have.
Terrible antigen that's on a plane that can't go code.
Yeah.
On an airport that's likely shut down, so they're having to divert that plane to another airport that's not closed. Tell me what the flight time for Sacramento to LA is or whatever.
Probably San
He's gonna
Diego,
take what-
right? That'd be the
Dude,
closest one,
yeah.
probably. Maybe.
They had to take
I
the
don't know.
highway at 7:00 at night.
With a shut down airport.
We're naming that street after a Tim Bradford.
Yeah, good luck.
Heading east on Crescent in search of armed terror suspect. Ma'am, get back inside.
Did you just assume her gender?
Yes.
This would take forever.
7 Adam 15 crossing Wilton on Higsby. No sign of suspect.
What are they doing?
Can you see in the backyards?
Yeah. Look and listen. Lights on, boot.
Possible contact. 5824 Elgin. We're gonna check the backyard.
Don't go back there. It's too dangerous.
Okay.
Yeah, this is
No
just
gloves?
Chris. Call the FAA
No gloves.
and tell them that we're going to fly some choppers in the LAX airspace and then have them reroute an airship to our location ASAP.
Like if she's on her phone.
Yeah.
They have a radio there.
Yeah, but she's calling
So
her
dumb.
people, not
Oh, I see.
not LAPD.
Lights on, boot. Good job. Look at what Lights on Boot got you.
Think we got him?
So we didn't.
Pause it real quick. I want to give points to Nolan for not pointing his turned on flashlight to nothing. He at least had the presence of mind to turn it off.
Yeah, that's true.
She is currently illuminating her feet.
Yeah,
good job.
and hers is in her hand.
Yeah.
So like even easier to turn off.
Yeah,
right?
literally.
Because
the Surefire X300's got like a weird toggle switch. I get that that's a little more complicated to turn off, but like
especially if you don't train to use it, right?
Oh yeah.
But the little tail cap, you should be able to.
I think her thumb's actually on.
It is, yeah.
The tail cap.
Looks like it is.
Come on, girlfriend. Do better. Anyways, lights on.
Hey there.
Oh, let's
You hear those
de-escalate.
sirens?
Let's go.
There's just about a couple hundred of my closest friends coming to back me up, but you're all alone.
Maybe not de-escalating.
He does have a machine gun.
Okay. Your turn.
Hey, Jimmy, we got your buddy in custody. It's over.
Got him in something.
I know you're hurt, but you're still alive. And I'm offering a way for you to stay alive. Think of all the publicity you'll get. You'll be the face of your cause. So much better than being a martyr in a cold box underground.
Pretty reasonable.
But Jimmy, you gotta decide right now. When SWAT gets here, they're just gonna light you up.
Accurate.
Okay, I'm coming out.
Lights on, Boot.
Don't shoot.
I just tried to murder you. Don't shoot.
Show me those hands. What the hell?
He was reaching.
Oh my god.
He may still be alive.
He might be infected, so we don't go anywhere near him.
Suspect is down.
Wow. She worked for the FBI or the ATF?
I'm thinking the latter, given how that went down. Golly. So
I guess that's what happens when you don't have to wear body cameras, right? There's no accountability.
For the same reason.
Yeah.
For the same reason why we're like, dog, deadly force is deadly force, right? We had the conversation earlier with Bishop. Shout out to Bishop for being apparently the only half decent example of reasonable policing.
Yeah.
That when you're going in, you got the possibility of a deadly threat, but one hasn't presented itself, right? So you can threaten deadly force, but you're not going to be using it.
That was wild. Both hands.
Shout out to the writers.
Both hands up. Bang, bang.
I was like, and then, no, don't get near him. He could be infected. Like, there is some degree of trying to contain him so he doesn't go up and like infect y'all if he is like, I get that part of it, but like you were just trying to get him to give himself up.
Well, Nolan was.
That's true. I guess she was just trying to get him to show himself. So
I think
probably.
Yeah, I think she was thinking, "Hey, you're a terrorist, and you're posing a threat. So,
Doc,
that's it."
She's just like, "Oh, it's a freebie. I'm good. I got no body cam."
Yeah.
I'm calling this in. My goodness gracious. Did this
terroristic breaths? So she had to put it in.
Yes. Yeah.
Terroristic breaths.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Yikes.
Suspect is down. Yeah, area's quarantined until CDC clears it.
He's like, I got a confused boner right now. That's all Nolan was thinking about here. I'm somewhere between being ashamed and aroused.
You think Tim called the psychic from earlier and he was like, "Hey, am I gonna live?
Hey, so
Can you tell
am I gonna
me?
live long enough for you to tear up that bedroom?"
All right, let's finish this shit.
Let's finish this.
Please tell me that's the vaccine.
It is. Wait, stand back. You're not wearing protective
Yeah,
gear.
pendeja.
Yeah.
One job, dude.
Officer Bradford, it's time to let me in. Hey.
Hey, Doc.
We got it. How are you feeling?
Guess you just need
Better than
one
him.
dose.
All things considered.
Good. We're right at
Damn.
the edge of what we think is the incubation window, so the fact that you're not showing any symptoms doesn't suck. But we're going to give you this vaccine just to make sure.
It's experimental, right?
That's correct. So we're just going to have to wait and see what happens. Maybe nothing. Maybe you grow
Is
horns.
this some foreshadowing?
Dog. When was this filmed?
2018.
Oh, I almost passed out.
You're not gonna grow horns, but you might get a blood clot. Yikes!
Oh my goodness. Ooh, you're asymptomatic.
Yikes! This is experimental.
Hemorrhagic fever.
Oh no, I'm tracking. I'm tracking.
No. A blood clot by you need your blood to clot. Listen.
Look,
It was
look.
just the wrong.
Listen, Linda.
Hey,
listen.
it was before its time, and it served a purpose.
You know what?
True. Yeah.
I was gonna say I was gonna quit if they took him into custody in tasers. They way sussed me out. They tripled down on lethal force.
Yeah,
and
that's
then,
true.
They somehow found a funnier way of concluding the Tim saga here.
Any chance we can kiss and make up, or can I expect a lawsuit?
Oh, up until about 20 minutes ago, I was drafting it in my head. But then you risked everything, got on that bus and saved those people.
You got a little turned on?
Oh, it's almost
No.
like she does that every single
Okay, yeah,
day
maybe
she's at
a
work.
little. Made me realize that I was a little short-sighted earlier. Maybe I didn't actually know best what should happen in that situation.
So we're good again?
Again, does it seem like we fight a lot?
Definitely, but I think it's our thing, you know, like some
Definitely.
couples swing dance or go to Disneyland.
And I didn't want
Jackson.
to...
Dad. Heard what you did.
What can I say? I'm a father's son.
No. You didn't plant a gun on that guy. He already had one.
I'm glad you said it.
Not like father, like son. He starts coughing blood all over it.
Thanks, Dad.
Good job.
What? Oh, thank you. It was all Jessica.
Don't sell yourself short. You sure you're okay?
No. I don't think he was reaching for a weapon.
What are you saying?
I'm saying she lied to me.
The guy had a biological weapon.
He was giving up.
Maybe he was, or maybe that's what he wanted you to think. Either way, his very existence made him a clear and present danger. She's got 20 years on the job, dealing with a whole different level of bad guy.
And I don't know anything because I'm a rookie. I'm no Boy Scout. All right, I have 6 months on this job. Has taught me anything. It's that there is evil in this world. But in that moment, she chose to lie to me. So she lied to me about Henry. So either she doesn't trust me,
Very emotional.
or she's a liar.
Today.
Or she was doing you a favor, giving you deniability if the shooting ever became a thing.
So you're saying I should just let her go?
I'm saying it's been a crazy day, and you don't know whether you're coming or going. So before you risk your relationship and possibly your career by blindly charging forward, maybe you should sleep on it.
Yeah. Bring back Bishop, dog.
Yeah.
You guys asked for the episode, so we provided it. This was our take on season 1, episode 20. So there's no skipping. We will continue to do the rest of the series. We are currently in season 2. I think we have like episode 5 or something like that. You guys asked for it, so we'll provide it. You guys have been really awesome in supporting the channel, and we appreciate that. If you'd like to see stuff like this, you can just subscribe and get notified every single time that we go live with one of these, or you can become a member of our Patreon group or a member of our YouTube channel, and you can get direct access to us through Discord. It's as little as $1 a month, and we've got a lot of cool stuff. We do story time, after parties, watch parties, all that kind of cool stuff. And we also go live every Thursday, potentially Tuesday for a little bit longer, at 7:30 Central Standard Time. We do body cam breakdowns and talk about real life police stuff, as opposed to this kind of stranger than fiction. But I'll forgive it. This is one of the.
This was a decent episode.
Yeah. On the scale from the rookie episodes, I give this a solid like 7.5.
Yeah, there was a lot of semi-realistic stuff.
Yeah,
in this one today.
And at least they outside of one taser deployment, everything else is we're doing pretty good here.
Also, to be fair, like if Tim had used deadly force, it would have prevented that guy from suffocating in his own blood.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
So
until next time, thank you for riding 2 Men with us. We'll see you in the next episode. Oh my goodness, I'm dying.